My name is Laura, and I've been overweight for quite a while now. Probably what, about 3 years, 2 years, something like that. My sweet husband is filming this, and when he met me, I was about 20 to 30 pounds lighter. I got on estrogen replacement or birth control, and I started gaining weight at a really rapid pace. And by the time everything was said and done, I couldn't get it off. I am, gosh, how old am I? I'm either 53 or 54. I'm losing count at this point. But at this, when they tell you that when you reach, this age, midlife, and they say, the weight ain't gonna come off, they're not kidding. I have tried it all, guys. I've tried it all. Been a fat girl farm. I've starved myself. I've done keto. I've done no carbs. I've done intermittent. I call it intermittent starvation. Intermittent fasting diet. I've tried everything, and I'll lose just a bit, and I'll get on a good kick. And one day, temptation comes, and then things start to tumble, and the dominoes start to fall. And then I'm back not only back where I was, but plus some. The weight, started a new job recently, and I guess it was stress eating, but I've gained probably another 10 pounds in the last month or so. And so I went and saw my doctor, regular doctor, GP, and he's been on this journey with me for a little bit. Last time he saw me, I was doing the intermittent fasting and exercising, and I had lost a little bit. And then I can't tell you what happened. I don't know. Lost a little bit, gained it all back, and then some. And so every time that I had to start over, I was starting from a much, much higher weight. So dieting and exercise made me so hungry, I could not stop eating. I'm not nothing against exercise. I've exercised all my life, but I was also, my appetite didn't increase, I found. I don't know how or why that was going on. But at any rate, saw my doctor, got on the scale, started crying, couldn't stop. He was a little concerned about my mood and some depression, and I will tell you that I have been very sad for very long about this weight. I have skipped a high school reunion, and when I started this job recently, there were people there who knew me back about 10 years ago, when I was a good bit thinner, and it's been hard to go back and see those guys. And I know that I'm not that big. I don't want a whole lot of criticism. I know that. I know that I'm not morbidly obese. I'm not even close to that. But I have been a whole lot more fit in my life. I used to run 5Ks, etc. And got married, kind of got happy. I kind of call it my, happy Buddha belly. But, it's only funny for so long. So, I'm ready to see myself again. I haven't seen me in a really long time. And the doctor said that he would try me on Ozempic. So, I've started that. I've taken 3 shots now. My husband does it for me. I can't do it
Yep,
myself.
3 shots.
3 shots, and it's 0.05, I think. And I'm starting week 3, and I've lost already 6 pounds. I don't really even know how. I know that my appetite is much decreased. I haven't really done a lot of exercising. I haven't even really changed. Well, I just noticed that later in the day, I'm not as hungry. The day after I get my shot, there's some nausea there. I've gotten a whole lot of Zofran, handfuls of it, to help with that, so that I can keep working and keep taking care of my family, etc. There is a lot of fatigue. The first few days after I get the shot. And I don't know, but 6 pounds is 6 pounds, and it happened at a kind of reasonable rate, 2 pounds a week, which is not, over the top. And while there's been some nausea and fatigue, it has not been anything that I couldn't handle. It feels a whole lot like morning sickness to me. And Zofran does help. Nothing that I can't handle. So I went online, went on YouTube to kind of try to find videos about people who've been through this too, and how they did and the rate at which they lost and how much they lost and how things went as they went. I've only found a couple, and one or two with a lot of good information, most with not a whole lot of good information on the show, how the shot is done and all that stuff. And I'll do that too, if you want. I'm a nurse, so I'm kind of, I can teach that to anybody. But it's not scary, it's not painful.
She taught me how to do the shots.
That's right. If he can learn, anybody can learn. But, it's really simple. It is virtually pain-free. And it's something I do in my belly. You can take it in any subcutaneous fat place. You can do it in the back of your arm. Probably hip, thigh, wherever you've got some fat there. I got it lots of places. But so far so good. And I want to give some people out there some hope because I've gotten a lot of flack. I got a lot of flack yesterday, as a matter of fact, at work. People, I go around, they can tell I don't feel well, and I'm like, what do you, what's wrong? I tell them I started Ozempic, and I'm like, why? Why are you doing that to yourself? You're miserable, you're not all that big, and blah, 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 blah. And this comes from people who have never, had an extra 5 pounds, okay? Unless you've been here, unless you have been here, I don't think you can really form much of an opinion. And as a nurse, I know even a 5 to 10 pound loss, if you're over your BMI, makes an incredible difference in your longevity, your quality of life, and your general health. It makes a ton of difference. And I want that. A couple of years ago, my husband and I decided that I would have some liposuction. And it was a wonderful, great, a great surgery. There was some pain involved. It was a tough recovery. I had some other things done too. But what gets me is that after that surgery, I kept gaining weight, and the two of us never really saw what the surgery did for me. There were some changes, yes, but I've gained weight at such a rapid pace, and so much of it that it kind of obliterated any results that we may have seen. And if I can just see that, and for, gosh, I hope I can keep it off, but I would just like to even just one time see, the result of all that suffering I did, post-surgery. It's been very disheartening. It was a lot of money, and it was a gift from my husband, and neither one of us got, it didn't work out. So I'm excited. This is the first time that I've really, that's my dog. That's Lou. Yeah, and he loves me, even even this. Let's see, I am 5. I'm not going to talk about how much I weigh. I weigh too much. My BMI is 28 right now, I think, which qualified me finally for the shot. And this is the first time that, I wouldn't say it's effortless, but it's doggone near. I'm not having the cravings that I had. I had a Heath bar last night, a candy bar. I think that was my supper. And honest to goodness, I could have taken it or left it. Before the shot, I knew where that Heath bar was. It's been there for a few days. My husband brought this home.
I know where it's at now, so there's no more left.
So, and I came across them. Gave him one, I took one, but honest to goodness, I could have left it if I wanted to. I hadn't had anything to eat that afternoon. Sometimes I find that I have to make myself eat because my brain can kind of shut off, and at work I can't afford that. So I'll go and eat when I notice that my energy's getting low, or that it's harder to think. So and of course, science-wise, it makes a lot of sense to me. Ozempic is kind of an adjunctive therapy that was created for diabetics and someone who's insulin resistant, which I really do believe is a problem for me. it does, it kind of makes up for what you're lacking. Moves the sugar into the cell and you use the energy more efficiently. It doesn't, but let me say this. You cannot just eat what you want. You cannot just eat with abandon. That does not work. We'll see. Maybe when I get up to, a more therapeutic dose or a more clinical dose, I'll have a little more freedom. But honest to goodness, it doesn't kind of make a difference to me right now, which is crazy. A Heath bar wouldn't have lasted, 10 seconds in my house. Donuts, oh my God, I would have to just absolutely drop what I was doing if they were anywhere in the vicinity. So that's really kind of left me, and we're gonna see how this goes. What else do I need to say? I can't think of anything.
Yeah, you get some nausea in the mornings. You talked about that.
Some nausea, and it seems like a half hour to an hour after I eat, I feel bad again. I feel yucky again. It really affects the receptors in your gut. Receptors in your gut that tell you that you're full. That's all I really know, but I can tell you, that my gut is definitely being affected. I do have stomach cramps, kind of like, I was gonna have loose bowels or what have you, for a minute or two, but again, it's not been anything overwhelming at all. It lasts for a very short time.
How about week 1? If you got the shot on a Monday, what happened that week? The first week?
I don't know what happened.
You said you felt less hunger immediately.
Yeah, the next day, pretty much. I did have nausea, maybe a little bit.
I don't think you had nausea the first few
one,
days.
yeah.
First week, I don't think you had any.
Yeah, it seems to be something that's kind of building up in my system. I don't think it's like anything that has a clearance that's just an hour or two or whatever, even in a 24-hour period. I'm not sure. I've not looked at, what the half-life and all that is of this medication, but it feels like week 1 to 2 to 3, I'm having a lot more side effects as we have progressed. And I also noticed that later in the week, I always take my shot on Monday. Later in the week, Tuesday I don't feel great. Wednesday, a whole lot better, but with like just these bouts during the day, especially after I eat. Then later in the week, I noticed that the side effects absolutely go away, and my appetite returns just a bit. Not like where it was, the cravings are still gone. They say, I think, I could see that when I do finally get to a maintenance dose, that it's probably going to be tough the first little bit as my body adjusts. And I'm willing to put up with a good bit, at this point. I've been overweight for probably 3 years or so now. And I used to be gorgeous, guys. I used to be very thin, very fit.
She still is.
5 Ks. Oh, thanks. My husband, you have no idea. He's
So week 1, weight change, up, down, to the same.
Week 1, I gained weight. I gained weight. I actually did. I think, I was thinking that, I could eat whatever I wanted, because scientifically, I mean, you can, but honest to goodness, it's still, calories in and calories out. It usually comes down to that.
Exercise during that week?
I didn't exercise. I was exercising before the shot. Yeah, I gained 10 pounds doing that. I was starving to death. And I never worked out harder in my life. And no, it wasn't muscle. You don't get 10 pounds of muscle in, 3 weeks of exercise. Sorry. Nope. That's not how that works. But I'd love it if it did. But it increased my appetite so much I couldn't,
And
I'm
then
fat and I can't control my food.
week 2, so when you moved into week 2, weight up, down, or the same?
It was the same. Maybe it's starting to come down if I remember right. I'm trying to weigh, I'm trying to get on the scale less. I think it would be helpful because Even though, I mean, I've been going down at a pretty steady pace now.
Yeah, for week 3 you were down 6 pounds.
And so I guess it really has been more than 2 pounds a week. This last 2 weeks, I've probably averaged closer to 3 pounds a day.
3 pounds each week.
About 3 pounds a week. So, and that's probably a little fast. I feel dehydrated. I feel really thirsty. So, you know, that's not the best way to do things, of course. Hopefully, you know, ideally during this therapy, you actually make some long-term changes in the way you eat, the way you exercise, and try to do things a little bit healthier. I've never been, you know, someone with a horrible diet. You know, every once in a while, some McDonald's. My real problem, I think, is sugar and carbs and such. And eating ice cream in bed, God Almighty, watching a movie, ice cream. It's like that's like the ultimate vacation for me. So, you know, I've never been a fried food person or anything like that. But hopefully I'll figure out, you know, what changes that I need to make to keep me on this. From what I understand, a lot of people do have to stay on Ozempic to keep the weight down. And that will probably be true for me, unfortunately. I have a compounder who makes this medicine for me. I think Wegovy is one of the name brands of this medication. Ozempic is another name brand. I'm lucky enough to have a compounder in town, and if you have one, I highly suggest this because you're talking about $1,600 versus, what did we pay?
$120.
$120
for the first month.
Whole month. big difference. So, you know, this is available to your average bear, you know, like me. So, thank God. And, you know, I'm real happy so far. And I'm hoping by Christmas and New Year's I can wear this really, you know, scandalous dress.
Me too. I'm hoping for that.
It's been hanging in my closet for about 4 or 5 years. Well, not 4 or 5. I take it back. Probably 3 years. Probably started getting fat about the time I bought that dress. I don't know. But I've wanted to wear it for a long time, and maybe this will be the one. So anyway, guys, if you questions, comments, you know, don't be mean. Please don't be mean. I've been mean enough to myself being this.
We'll do another.
You know?
We'll do another update next Wednesday.
We will.
So hit the subscribe button if you want to see that, so you don't lose it, or just remember the channel. If you don't want to subscribe, I don't care. You can subscribe, unsubscribe, whatever you want. It's not a problem. But we'll do another video next week.
By the way, so like if there's some question you have about self-administration, about sterility, about anything as far, you know, something a nurse could answer, I will do my best.
Yeah, drop a comment and we'll get back to it. Any mean comments, I'm not going to read to her. So we will dump them, but y'all be nice.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will be. And I'm hoping, you know, I'll find somebody out there on this journey with me, so that we can share this, and you know, it would make it a whole lot more meaningful, I think. So anybody out there who's doing this, come on, let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you're doing. We can do this together. All right? Peace out.